G'day everybody, welcome back to another weekly tipping video on the channel. With 5 rounds left to go in the 2022 AFL season, things are starting to tightening up, and same with the tips. In today's video, we're going to be going over my tips for round 19 of this season. If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. Very close to 11k subscribers, so hopefully we can tick over that milestone soon enough. And yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, going over my tips now from round 18. Just the old average score, same as last week or the week before, 6 out of 9. I mean, I think it is average, but it says it's in the top 25%, so I think it's actually a pretty reasonable score. But anyway, we'll go over the games quickly. Tip the Western Bulldogs. I just always felt that they were the better side than St Kilda, so I tipped them by 17, actual margin 28, so it was pretty, not too bad margin-wise. But yeah, doggies keeping their season alive pretty much against the Saints. Tip Collingwood, I expect them to win another close one, and they sure did. Another game in the balance, but the Pies have won now 8 in a row, and most of those games have been under 2 goals, so they're just the kings of winning close ones at the moment. Tip the Lions, of course, thought they could easily bounce back against the Giants in Canberra. Won an easy one by around 40 points. Tips, of course, Richmond. I understood that North were in a bit of form, but geez, against the Tigers, you'd think that was a bridge too far. But they just turned the corner North and picked up one of their wins of recent memory, pretty much. It was just a total upset. Took advantage of Richmond's poor kicking. They were very accurate in front of goal, and they won the game by 4 points. An absolute thriller. Get around the North. Did tip Geelong, and I tipped them by a convincing margin. I think I tipped them by like 26 points, so I was really 4 points off margin-wise. They won by 30. I just felt that Geelong were going to be too good for the Blues, and it was simple as that. Watching back at the highlights, because I didn't watch this game live, they just completely battered them in every department of the field, and really the scoreboard flagged the Blues, it seems. They really could have won by at least 40 or 50 points. Went with the safe option of tipping Freo here, and geez, the Swans finally beat Fremantle at Optus for the first time, and it was just a classy professional win. After quarter time, they changed their game plan to adjust Freo's, where they could just chip mark, and find the spare man because of Freo's zoning defence, and they just pretty much outcoached them to a win. It was a magnificent win, probably one of the best wins out of any club this season. Did tip Hawthorn against the West Coast Eagles, thought they could just get it done by around 18 points, and they ended up winning by around somewhat of that margin. It was quite a pretty underrated game. I felt it was a bit of a shootout, really, goal for goal kind of affair, and the Hawks with a nice win. Went for the upset by tipping Port Adelaide, and I still respect myself. I don't think I really lost too much with tipping Port. They really could have won this game because 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐿𝐴 really shown up. Put home 6 goals and a 3 votes display. And for the final game, I thought the Dons would get better of the Suns, because Suns just can't seem to play well enough interstate, and they absolutely battered them. Really could have won this game by literally 80 points. Great win for the Dons. Quick look now into my top 10 of my 𝐼𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐿𝐴 tipping competition. Things are tightening up on the leaderboard, that is safe to say. New leaders in there. 10th, we've got Pommy Tiger. 9th, we've got Richmond for life. 8th, we've got Jason's Raiders. 7th, Ben Plutton. 6th, Safety Master 600. 5th, 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐴 12345. 4th, Demons Premiers 2021. 3rd, Batch Rooney. 2nd, Kebab King. And first, we've got a new leader with under 160.5 points with 132. Rightio, now let's get into my tips for round 19. And as I said at the start of the video, things are really starting to tighten up with this year, and these fixtures are starting to become a bit more tricky. A few more upsets potential on the cards, but we kick it off with a pretty nice underrated game here, or a very good game. Richmond hosting Freo at Marvel Stadium. Both teams coming off a loss, so it's hard to really grasp who can really turn up here. Looking at the Tigers, they still have Lynch out, they still have Dusty out, but they seem to somewhat play reasonable footy without both of them. I mean, in retrospect, they should have really beaten North Melbourne by 30 points given their goal scoring, so I think they're still a very solid side. Their expected score as well, according to those data and the stats and the ladder from that expected score, I think their record's something like 12-4. So they've lost a lot of games they really should have been winning. So I feel like they're still a very strong side at home against Fremantle, which a side that's played quite well at Marvel Stadium this year. Freo obviously off just a disappointing loss, so you think both sides are really going to come out firing in this game. Tough one here, 50-50, but I am liking Freo with this tip. I feel like they are the better side here. P should be coming back in, so I feel like they should be able to take handle of Richmond's forward line quite easily. Quite easily is probably a bit too harsh. Somewhat convincingly, I feel. And I feel like their midfield can get on top here. I'm going to be tipping Freo on this one. Really, I still feel it is a 50-50 game. Yeah, Freo for me. They'll get it done by 19 points. For the first Saturday game, we've got North Melbourne taking on Hawthorn at Bloodstone Arena. I really do love the look of North in this tip here. I mean, they're in some good form, so why not tip them? Against the Hawks, which, you know, it's a very good opportunity to beat them here. I'm pretty sure they did beat them last year at this particular venue with their first win of 2021. So they could pretty much do the repeat here. But I just feel like going with the safe option here of Hawthorn. Look, it's still hard to really tip North Melbourne because you don't know when they're going to have that performance where they could lose by 10 goals. But I feel like it's a really good opportunity to beat Hawthorn here. You know, beat someone around their own, you know, the lower kind of ladder. I mean, they can beat Richmond. Why can't they beat Hawthorn? But I just feel like Hawthorn, they're in some good form. I mean, they've won the last two. They should be able to get handle of North. And I think a close one, a good battle here. Hawthorn got it done by 13 points. For another 1:45 PM game, we've got the Swans hosting Adelaide at the SCG. Swans coming off a great fortnight, knocking off the Bulldogs by convincing margin. And the same could probably be said by Fremantle too. So, I mean, they're miles high in confidence, or sky high in confidence at the moment. And taking on Adelaide, a bottom four side, you think it will be an easy run over, which I probably would agree. But I feel like Adelaide, yes, their last 11 games have only beaten North Melbourne and also West Coast. But I feel like the stat sheet is quite good. I feel like they're a very good pressure side. I think they're ranking high in tackles and forward 50 pressure. So I feel like against the Swans, they can really give it up to them. You know, they've got nothing to lose as well. So I feel like a pretty good chance to give Swans a bit of a fight here. Also, Swans are just not very good at all during day games this year from what we've seen. But I just feel like around this stage of the season, teams should start to really be picking up results that they should. And I feel like the Swans should be taking the chocolates in this one against Adelaide. In a good battle, I don't think it'll be smashing. Swans get this done by 25 points. Now for a pretty decent matchup, we've got Port Adelaide taking on Geelong. Port, of course, still mathematically a chance to make finals. But you still think that they're probably done for the year, so the kind of sensation of they've got nothing to lose should come into play. So they're in great form. They really could have beaten Melbourne. You know, they really put it up to them last week. So they're a good chance here against Geelong, especially at home as well, where they probably play their best footy. But for me, the Cats, they are the best team in the competition at the moment, and I feel like they're going to start just ticking over these wins. And these are the kind of wins that good footy clubs do against a tough side of Port. So I feel like Geelong get the better of Port Adelaide here at Adelaide Oval, and they'll win by 17 points. For a 𝐴 beauty here, Brisbane Lions taking on the Gold Coast Suns at the Gabba. I have a feeling this could actually be a really good 𝐴 for Lions, because the last few have just been pretty disinteresting. You know, they've just been typical, and, you know, Brisbane Lions winning by convincing margin. But I feel like finally this is the chance for Suns to really give it up to them. Look, of course, last week they were absolutely abysmal, absolutely poor, so you feel like Lions should be the easy tip here, which I can agree to an extent, but Gold Coast do play the best footy in Queensland, so I feel like they have a really good chance of knocking off the Lions here. But I feel like the Lions, similar to the Cats, they'll start to really be ticking over and punching in those wins against particular sides. So I feel like Lions will pick up another 𝐴 trophy, win another derby, and they'll beat the Suns in a close one. I feel like your Suns will really give it up to them. Lions will win by 10 points. Another grand final rematch here. Western Bulldogs hosting Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. Last year, Bulldogs did get the better of Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. But this is a really interesting tip. I feel like Demons, yes, they have they got that fortunate win on. Not really fortunate, it was still a well worked win, but I feel like Bulldogs really do have a chance to attack the Demons here. They're a very beatable side. You know, a lot of sides have found the blueprint to beating them. As long as you have a strong defense and your transition's good, you have a really strong capability of beating a particular side, such as the Demons. But I feel like 𝐼𝐿 should be returning for Melbourne, so they should be good here. It just showed that with 𝐼𝐿 out last week, that just shows of how well you can win the contested ball, and the clearance is just that good of a player. So I do like the Demons here in this tip, but I'm going to be going for the upset. I feel like Bulldogs can really pull off just a solid win. Then a situation as well where I feel like against the solid sides, they haven't been too great, but I just feel like they can knock off the Demons here. It's probably just a bit of grand final revenge as well. They're playing for the season too. They're in a good position as well. I mean, if Tigers can drop their game, they're in the box seat. If they beat the Demons here, it is going to be an absolute beauty of a game. Bulldogs will beat the Demons by 3 points. Now for the Sunday games, we have Carlton hosting the Giants at Marvel Stadium. Blues, of course, with the disappointing loss last week, but it was just a bit of a reality check kind of loss, so it's a loss that doesn't really hurt a side too much. It just shows that that's the benchmark you've got to be at. We've got to be aiming that, you know, somewhat of a steady incline to be a side like Geelong. But against the Giants, they should be picking up a win here. I mean, you know, against the bottom 6 kind of sides, when they play at home Carlton, they're pretty much unstoppable. So I feel like Carlton should be beating the Giants here pretty convincingly, and they'll pick up a nice win by 33 points. What a beauty of a matchup this is. Collingwood versus Essendon at the 𝐼𝐶𝐞. You'd probably argue that these are probably 2 of the most informed sides in the competition at the moment. What a past 3 weeks it has been for the Bombers, knocking off the Swans, Lions, and convincingly beaten the Gold Coast Footy Club at Marvel Stadium last Sunday. So they have a really good chance to finally, or is there a chance to finally knock off Collingwood's beautiful winning streak of 8 wins in a row. So I feel like this is going to be a good game. It is really going to be a solid game. But I just have a feeling Pies are going to win another close one. They're a side that's playing when they're down and out, it seems, or when they're in a position when they really need to kick a few in a row or put a bit of scoreboard pressure on. They seem to do that so well. I said before, they're a very good transition side. They're an exciting side to watch. It's going to be a cracking game. A bit of an Anzac Day rematch as well. I think the Pies win a close one. They win a beauty by 7 points. And for the final game of the round, we have West Coast taking on St Kilda at Optus Stadium. Just looking at this tip head-to-head, I feel like St should just be picking up a convincing win here. But again, the Eagles, I mean, their side just not to write off, really. They're a bit patchy. They're a bit hard to grasp a hold on. Where do you think they could finally play a good game, or they play a poor game? We all thought that they'd really bring it up against Carlton, but they had a scoreless quarter for the first and final quarter. I think they were quite good against the Hawks. They had a great start against them. Just kept hung in there, really. And I think they're going to be doing that against the Saints here. But for me, St Kilda, they're going to be angry. I feel like out of all the sides this week, they're going to be the most angriest side to play this weekend, considering their form in their past few performances. So I feel like St Kilda will play just a reaping style of footy. They're going to play just a solid game of footy against the Eagles here. They're going to, as I said, play angry, play tough. Saints are going to beat the Eagles here away by 28 points. So everyone, there are my tips for round 19 of the 2022 AFL season. Thank you very much for watching the video. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think of my tips. And also feel free to comment down yours below too. I'll love to hear your fellas' thoughts. And once again, fellas, thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you went on to enjoy today's video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. See you later, fellas.